Good evening, welcome to the Bothy. I'm Victoria. Please subscribe to my channel. So this is the shoulder massage today in the series of self-massage, self-compassion for stress relief. So please follow along, let me know how you get on, like, comment, share, remember to subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Welcome back, Victoria here. So I'm just going to give you a little bit of background about the shoulders and what we're going to be doing today. But first of all, if you have any issues with your shoulders or high blood pressure, for example, or even low blood pressure, please seek advice from a doctor first. I'm not a doctor, I'm a therapist and just want to be able to help you a little bit at home. But as I say, please seek advice first if you're unsure. So the shoulders are made up of the deltoid muscle here, leading to the femur bone. They're also made up of the trapezius muscle, which is a diamond-shaped muscle working from the top of the neck to the shoulder points and down to about here, about the bra line. And although we say traps, actually there is one trapezius muscle. There is an upper, middle and lower part of it, but it is one large diamond-shaped in a trapezium-shaped muscle. And then we also have the spine, the bones of the vertebra, which also have a strong muscle either side of it called the erector spinae. So we're going to be using lots of different techniques today, including some cupping, using a cupped hand for ourselves. We're going to be using pétrissage, small movements like this, pressing with fingers or thumbs. We're going to be doing effleurage, some stroking, and we're also going to be doing some hanging. Okay, I'm going to hang out together. So first of all, some body reading. A lot of you have been interested in when I give you a little bit of insight into what it means when we're holding ourselves in a particular way, or what it means when we have an ailment of a particular part of the body. So for instance, hunched shoulders, where we're not only shoulders are down but they're also forward and it leads to a hunched back, can mean that we feel overwhelmed with life, with the magnitude of everything that we have to do in our lives. That can be overwhelming. We have too much on. Shoulders that are dropped, hanging low like this, can mean that we're defensive. Maybe we're in fear of things that have happened to us in our lives, situations, people, work, home, whatever it might be, and it's created fear. So it can lead in dropped shoulders like this. It can be quite defensive, we're untrusting. Also, shoulders that are pulled back, so for instance rounded at the back, sticking our chest out, and that normally comes with quite a long neck, and sometimes I've seen it with clients with a jaw jut like this. Okay, and even a raised jaw. So shoulders pulled back, but also this kind of action like this with a raised jaw, then that can mean that we have a full sense of strength and we're holding back from letting emotions in or out. So we're actually galvanizing ourselves. It's almost like we are bracing ourselves for what's to come. Maybe again that's because we've been hurt or we haven't dealt with situations in our life how we would have wanted to. So we brace ourselves with that metal all around us so that situations fly off us and we don't allow our emotions in. We don't recognize our emotions, in fact. So massage is really wonderful for all of these different postures that we have, whether we're rounded too far back, too far up, of course. Now this is another one most of us may suffer with shoulders up round your ears, wearing your shoulders as earrings. And this can mean, obviously I'm exaggerating here, but this can mean that we are living in fear, that again we've got that bracing. So like this, but actually we're bracing ourselves, and we are also trying to deal with the amount of burden of our life. So it's almost like the burden is on our shoulders and we're lifting it up, and that helps you in the temporary, in the short term, but it's not going to help us in the long term, because that's just going to lead to incredible neck strain and shoulder problems, including frozen shoulder, which then leads to headaches, possibly migraines, and a lot of head tension and stress. So self-massage, or going and getting a massage, is the way forward to relieve that tension and tune into the way that you want your life to lead, the way that you want to appear to people, that you want to receive and give, just to unpick some of that veneer that we build in our lives when we've had situations and come out of it with a little mistrust. So let's open our own hearts. Let's do it in our own homes with self-compassion and see where that leads us, hopefully to a beautiful place. Now for the meridians. So the key meridians running through this area of the shoulders, in the centre, and the centre key at the back here, is called the governing vessel. Now if we have constriction in that area, which we're going to be relieving today, then that can lead to anxiety and insomnia, a great amount of mental stress. Then we have the bladder meridian, which passes each side of the central meridian here and at the back. And the bladder meridian, if constricted, can lead to blockage with the lungs and the upper chest, which can lead to colds and coughs. Then we have the large intestine meridian, which actually comes through the outside of the scapula, the shoulder blades. And this meridian relates to our digestion. Of course, it's the small intestine meridian. So it relates to our digestion and also our mental intuition, our clarity. For women, it also runs through the ovaries, being on the outside here. So it can lead to reproductive issues and constriction in our ovaries. So now for the massage. Now we understand all the different body parts. So first of all, just contact. Bring one hand to the opposite shoulder near your neck and just have contact. Feel the warmth there. Close your eyes and breathe into you. Breathe into your energy and how it feels to be you. Maybe for about 30 seconds. Feel the warmth of your hand, of your shoulder, and breathe. You may be aware of how your shoulder is inflating and deflating as you are breathing. This is a wonderful feeling of contact when you first touch an area of your body you're massaging, or whether you are a therapist and you're touching an area of your client, and wherever it is, even if it is the toes, I normally sense what their breathing is doing with my eyes closed. Okay, having had a little contact, we're now going to just warm and feel into the area. So just small grasping. Just small grasping at the moment. That's wonderful. So from next to the shoulder point and down the length of that deltoid to the very top of the arm. The arm I will be bringing you next week. That's great, doing really well. Okay. So now I'd like you to increase that a little by bringing it forward. bring it forward, bring it forward. So roll that shoulder. Oh, isn't that good? Rolling it forward in this manner. Now you can be as firm or as light as you like. It depends how it feels and whether you have issues with your shoulders already, whether it's simply tension or whether you've had previous operation or arthritis, for instance. So only do what feels good. If it feels good, that's great. Do not hurt yourself. Be kind to yourself. Lovely. Bringing it forward. That's fantastic. Okay. And now, very gently, because it won't move very far back, you're going to be using the length of your fingers and pushing it back. It's actually pushing back further than if you hadn't done the rolling forward and the contact. So there, that's not too bad. Down your shoulder, that's great. Pushing it back. So a few times working from the centre over the top to the outside. That's great. And now we're just going to circle them a little, still with the finger points. So this is called petrissage. Again, working from the centre outwards. Now the reason you wouldn't want to do two hands and two shoulders at the same time in this manner is that you'd always have a tense shoulder while you're working on the other side. So just relax the shoulder. I've got it rested on my sink here and you might be watching me at a table, and so just relax that one arm down while you're doing a little petrissage. That's right. Working on it like this. That's beautiful. How does that feel? Hope you're well today, guys. Hope everything's going okay. Have you had a nice day? Are you watching this in the evening and you're doing this ready for bed? Some self-compassion to end the day. Can't be bad. Okay, that's it. That's really good. So a little effleurage, massage up and down. That's it. It is a little bit staccato, as I call it, without oil. It's smoother when you've got clothes underneath. And now I just want you to relax your shoulders a little, relax them down, shake them at the same time, alternately like this. Bounce them down. That's great. Now the shoulder is the joint of the body that it has the most movement of the whole body. It has the most availability of movement in all different directions. You see, our legs wouldn't be able to do that, and certainly not our knees. So it can take a lot of strain. They work hard for us, our shoulders, don't they? So the next thing we're going to do is some myofascial release, some soft tissue release. So first of all, I'd like you to press. We did similar with the neck last week. So press and move your neck over. Press and move. Press and move. So you don't want to be moving back or forward. You want to be pressing, moving directly over to the opposite side. Try and relax the working shoulder at the same time. So press and release, press and release. All the way down. It's particularly useful right at the top here. Oh, that can be sore, but you're helping yourself. Don't hurt yourself too much. Just what I call a relieving feeling, that you're doing something that is helping you. I had a core treatment myself the other day, so I'm not too bad, but I'm still feeling the relief of this manoeuvre. Feels really good, doesn't it? Okay, So that was great, some myofascial release. We are going to be working on the other shoulder in a moment. And next I want to do some movement rotating. So we're going to be pressing and then moving our shoulder round. Press and move, press and move. That's it, that's really good. Now I'm feeling that really well today. So I'm actually pressing and bringing it forward while moving my shoulder. Again, you might feel this quite acutely. You might be quite body aware. So do it to the extent that feels good. Yeah, that's great. So what you're actually doing here, and back round the other way, is relaxing with the warmth of your hand and tuning into, because you're feeling what your shoulder is doing, and tuning into the tension that is there and encouraging it to lengthen that muscle. So if you imagine muscles, when they're being used, are bulked up in this manner, if you're using your muscle like this, and when you're relaxing it or lengthening it like a stretch, then it lengthens in this manner, and that's why they bulk up large when we're using them, and they are slim and relaxed when we're not using them. So that's why you're trying to lengthen and push out any strain, which means any muscle that's gone into spasm. So it's been held in that used manner even when you're not using it. So you're pushing it out in order to strengthen and release it. That's right, lovely. So a little bit more in both directions. I don't know, some people might be clunking at this time. Normally I do clunk. And if you feel the location of where that bone is clicking and clunking, as I can feel a little bit there at my shoulder point, it's just on the inside of my scapula, then I'm working it out by pressing and rotating at the same time. And maybe that clunk will disappear. Maybe it will go. I think mine's going already. So just find the source of it, press and release. And breathe at the same time. I forgot to tell you to breathe. Maybe no one's breathing right now. And let go. That's great, you're doing really well. Okay, now that feels so nice, warm, relaxed, lengthened. It feels a little dropped. I mean, I can tell looking at my shoulders in the mirror that this shoulder is lower than this one now. So I definitely need to work on my right shoulder. Of course, you may have noticed I'm left-handed, so that is probably the shoulder with more tension in, but I still need to do my right side. So I'm now going to show you the hanging technique, and I'm going to walk over to my doors. So I hope you can hear me okay. So first of all, I'm going to grab the door that I'm sure you've all got access to right now, unless you're out in the countryside, and let yourself hang slightly. Now what will happen is it will stretch up the outside and inside of your bicep and tricep. You'll feel it right on that length there. And what happens is you'll probably relax into the whole length of your body. This doesn't just help your shoulders, this will help down the sides of your torso, even into your hips. And I can feel it even down to my knees. The longer you hang there, you'll feel yourself rocking back and forward slightly. Don't put too much weight on. I have got my feet on the ground, of course. And I am monitoring and allowing the amount of weight and gravity that is pushing against that shoulder tension. So I'm allowing for how it feels and monitoring at the same time. Okay, so I know that my left shoulder felt so much more relaxed during that, and I'm now going to show you how to work on your right shoulder. So let's go back just to the contact. We've got that lovely warm hand on the right shoulder, or your left perhaps. Just contact and just tell yourself, this is wonderful, I am giving myself love, I'm giving myself a massage and self-compassion. Wonderful, guys. How's it feeling? A little bit more touch, going from the centre out to the sides. Okay, and we'll start that rolling action. Rolling, rolling, rolling. Beautiful. Yeah. How does it feel compared to the other side? What handedness are you? Do you notice actually that it's your other handedness? So, for instance, with me, is it my right side that is more tense? Now, quite often I've noticed in life that we use our handedness for the side that needs to be the doing. So, for instance, you'll carry all of your bags in your right hand, if you're left-handed, in order to have your left hand free to be able to open doors and operate keys and use your phone and wave to people. So actually it might be your non-handedness that is the doer, the carrier, takes all the burden and the weight. So have we now warmed up, rotated around, rolled that shoulder forward? That's great. You can just imagine you all at home following this, getting ready for a nice sleep, or even doing it first thing in the morning, ready for work or ready for a nice long day. Okay, so now we're going to use those fingers, and we're just pressing at the moment, and we're going to press backwards because we've rolled in, so we're going to press backwards all the way down the trapezius and the deltoid. Only do what feels good. And that feels good to me. Do remember to try and relax the arm that's being worked on. Rest it down on the table, back of the chair. That's it. Press. So this is like a pushing acupuncture move. That's really great. This will be helping you so much. Oh, I'm starting to clunk. I can feel that happening inside. We'll soon get rid of that. Super. And now we're going to do a little cupping. So cup your hand so there's plenty of air, ether in between, and then cup it up and down. Oh, doesn't that feel great? So try and relax it as much as possible. Cup it up and down, front and back, as far back as you can reach comfortably. I'm just in the base of the neck there as well. Makes a nice horse hoof clopping noise. Going in a rotating circular movement. Now for the other side. Nice and speedy, not hurting yourself. It's particularly nice at that point there. Great. So now we're going to press and rotate. Okay, so feel into the whole shoulder, press and rotate. Lovely. Now you've got a little gap down the front of the arm here where it connects to the chest. This is a really good acupuncture place. So it's nice to press into there as well. And that relieves any tension of the muscle, the pecs, the pectoral muscles at the front of the shoulder, connecting there. So I'm pressing and then moving. Press and move. Beautiful. Feels great, doesn't it? Okay, and now that effleurage. So up and down, up and down. Feel how warm it is now. Okay, so we've worked on both sides. How is that feeling? Now the back of the shoulders, which is difficult with self-massage. If this is too difficult for you, then don't follow this bit, get someone to do it for you. So I'm able to take my hand up to behind my scapula. Scapula is the shoulder blade there, and I'm going to try and push my fingers into the edge of the scapula while I'm moving the scapula. So I'll describe it now and then I'll show you. So I've got my fingers into the edge of the scapula and then I'm rotating it. Once I've done one area, I move it down. Or even underneath, you can turn your hand over to go underneath. And now the other side. Great. And now I'm going to try and access the area between my scapula. So that's on top of the vertebra and either side in that soft tissue. I'm going to use the back of my hand. And I'm just feeling, it is difficult using the back of your hand, but I'm just feeling up and down. And try using the other hand, see how that feels on your shoulder you're working with. And you might want to touch the two together. And then pull and shift the top of the back between the shoulders at that top point of the trapezius muscle. Remember to relax the shoulder you're not working with. So you see I'm pulling it upwards. Oh, that feels great. So now what you want to do is stretch that warmed, massaged muscle that you've been working with. Stretch it both ways, bring it forward, rotate the shoulders back, stretch the shoulders backwards by clasping the hands behind you and roll your shoulders forward. And then a nice long full 360 rotation, symmetrically using both shoulders and back again. Beautiful. You've done so well. Okay, now let's bring one arm all the way up, stretch it up as far as you can, and then over. You don't want to hang your head too far, just keep your head quite level in line with your vertebra. That's really good. I can feel that all the way down the side of my torso. Up again and over, stretch it over, keep your head in line. And remember to breathe. Maybe I wasn't breathing. And breathe. Lovely. Okay, a nice long rotation again. And to finish off, I just want to give you the opportunity of a couple of affirmations to do with our shoulders and to do with releasing mental tension, if you like spiritual tension, that comes with any shoulder tension. So I am going to share with you the most amazing affirmation and gesture of self-compassion and self-love that I have taken from the Drew book called The Dance Between Joy and Pain from Drew Yoga, and it is on page 249, and it is a gesture of respect for yourself. So first of all, take your hands and give them a nice warm rub. And once you've felt some heat there, just allow your hands to hold a little bit of distance apart from each other and see if that energy and that heat wants to take your hands away from each other slightly. Mine are going quite wide. And see what happens when you try and bring them in again and let them flow out and in, let them flow out. Isn't that a lovely feeling? Can you feel that energy there? Can you feel your hands tingling? Are you in tune? Are you focusing on what's going on in between your hands? Lovely, amazing feeling. It feels like ocean waves coming in and out. Okay. And once you've grappled with that energy a little bit, which is your own energy, you've created it, this is in you all the time, just hold your hands there for a moment and tune into your heart, open your heart and accept love from yourself to yourself. And breathe. And then when you're ready, bring your right palm over your heart in the center, your left over your right, and feel that beautiful energy as you touch. And now affirm to yourself, whether it's in your head or silently, or whether you would like to speak it, affirm to yourself, I am worthy of the best. I have a lot to offer. And you might want to repeat that 3 times. I am worthy of the best. I have a lot to offer. I am worthy of the best. I have a lot to offer. And finally, I would just like to share with you Louise Hay's take on shoulder tension and overburden of shoulders. And that is that overburdening can mean that we don't allow ourselves to feel joy in certain aspects of our life, and therefore the affirmation to bring into your life in this case is I allow myself to experience a joyous life. What a wonderful feeling. I allow myself to experience a joyous life. It is there for the taking, it's just whether we allow ourselves. This can be applicable to all of us in many different aspects of life. So I hope this has helped you. So thank you for joining me. Please join me next week for an upper arm massage, and I hope you subscribe, do share with friends, and have a wonderful week. Bye guys.